Hi, and we're finally in the last 4th episode, so it's only the best of the best 1990s adventure games that we'll cover today, so let's check them out. The Last Express takes place on a board of the Orient Express, going from Paris to Constantinople, on which we've gotten daringly in an Evel Knievel style jumping from a bike, escaping the authorities, blaming you for the murder you did not commit. What's worse, the person you were supposed to meet on board is murdered too. And get this, not to arise any suspicion, you decide to dress as the dead man and get rid of the body. Because that's, like, not shady AF at all. Anyway, this chain of action-packed events is just the beginning of this last video covering the best PC point-and-clickers and your adventure on the board of the famous train that will entangle you in a deep intrigue and political conspiracy. There are 3 things I can tell you about Sanitariums. 1. The city I live in is known for one. 2. I've never been in one. And 3. It's a fantastic adventure game that will leave you thinking about what you've went through in it long after you've done playing. Anyway, the last thing you remember after waking up in an asylum for the mentally ill is that you were hurrying home when you got into a car accident. Correction, it's the last and only thing you remember, as you know nothing of who, where and why you are, and you'll have to puzzle your way through all of your lost memories to put the pieces together to figure out both your identity and what's really taking place in the titular Sanitarium. Previously on the Roger Wilco show. After saving the universe I don't know how many times already, Roger is back in the Starfleet Academy as both a cadet and a janitor. After passing the Starfleet aptitude test with just a minimal amount of cheating and lying, he is given a rank of captain, his own ship, and most importantly a mission. A mission that will see him unveil a galaxy-wide biohazardous material dumping scheme, so basically, if you think about it, he was in fact promoted from a small-time to a big-time space janitor only. In Gabriel Night 3, Gabriel, along with his assistant Miss Grace Nakimura, are hired to investigate the kidnapping of a son of Prince James of Albany. All the traces lead to René La Chateau, which means a house where René goes to poop in Latin. Don't fact check that, trust me. As they explore the town and surrounding areas, they come across a trail of evidence proving that the higher supernatural powers are behind it all. The case embroils our duo in a mystery involving everyone's favorite vampires, Knights Templar, Holy Grail and even Jesus. No vamp maids, dragons, billionaires or medusas though, so you know, it's not too out there.
Yes. Nice to meet you. The name's Knight.
Broken Sword: The Shadow of the Templars, aka Circle of Blood, is the first and arguably the best entry in the entire series in terms of both storytelling and fun. Because despite the plot being of a serious tone, the game is chock full of humorous dialogues and interactions. Personally, I wouldn't have it any other way in a point-and-clicker. I mean, I don't look for fun in modern, cinematic adventures like Life is Strange or Detroit Become Human. I want them to destroy me, I want them to leave me sad and disappointed with life. But those older classic ones, I want them to deliver as many laughs as possible. That's me though, so you know, don't let that opinion sway you either way. Anyway, you play as George Stoppard, an American tourist in Paris who witnesses a brutal bombing of a seemingly random cafe. Being a nosy boob that you are, you decide to investigate, and that, believe it or not, will lead you into unraveling of a deep conspiracy involving a sinister cult and a hidden treasure, which is always fun. Pity though that it's not set on a monkey island.
Are you a doctor?
The Neverhood tells a story of Clayman, a clay-made man living in a clay-made world. Sounds suspiciously like Barbie. Or actually, Clayman waking up in a clay-made world, not knowing where, how or who he is. And it's up to you to figure out our hero's past, present and, well, future. Either way, you'll need to traverse this puzzles and hilarious animations-filled world to seek out and collect mysterious discs that hold the key to solving the mystery. Interestingly enough, there are no dialogues or even inventory in the Neverhood, and most puzzles center around interactions with the environment. In Full Throttle you play as Ben, a leader of the Polecats, unfortunately named gang of tough bikers. And Polecats are all about classic wheel-based heavy choppers and not the omnipresent in the future of the game hovercraft vehicles. They like their machines same way they like their drinks, heavy, greasy and with a solid kick. So when Ben learns from Adrian Ripberger, a vice president of Corley Motors, the last manufacturer of quote-unquote real vehicles in the US, what his plans for the future of the company, their gang and motor industry are, Ben decides to stop him. Full Throttle was the first of LucasArts' adventure games to feature a new and revamped point-and-click interface, streamlining the entire experience and making it more user-friendly. The quality of gameplay and fun factor did not change though, and it's as good of a game as most of theirs are.
I'll still have one glow lamp.
2000 years before the game started, an advanced race known as Sartan split the world into 5 realms, dividing it between the 4 races: humans, dwarves, elves and Patrin, with all of them apart from Patrin getting nice and sunny continents, some a slice of the cake if you will, and Patrin being relegated to live in the dark underground, so the dry burnt crust of our proverbial cake. You play as young Patrin Haplo and you're on a mission to find each of the world's seal pieces to reconstruct it and henceforth be able to remake the planet to what it was before. Even if Sins of the Fathers is my favorite entry in Gabriel Knight series, I can't deny the quality of Beast Within, despite finding the acting in it hilarious. Either way, you're Gabriel Knight, a Schattenjäger, which probably means either toilet cleaner or a shadow hunter. I'm not sure really. And he moved from New Orleans to your family heritage home of Ritter Castle in Bavaria. Story-wise, a vicious wolf kills a young girl in your home village and a group of peasants approach you asking to purge the evil from the creature. Your investigation into the events will unravel Bavaria's hidden and long-lost dark past, and both you and your assistant Grace Nakimura will have a lot of work cut out for you. All that said, I'm beginning to understand what the true meaning behind the Schattenjäger is. It's the wolf hunter. It's just gotta be right. In The Legend of Kyrandia Hand of Fate, you don't play as Brandon, Kalak's grandson, or evil jester Malcolm either. You play as the Hand of Fate, no less. No, you actually don't. You know, when you have an assistant and you don't pay him and he messes your scripts one time too many? Yeah, someone's lost their job today, that's all I'm gonna say here. Anyway, you play as Sorceress Xanthia and you have to figure out why Kyrandia is slowly disappearing, and even more importantly, how to stop it. And since you're playing as a magic caster, many of the puzzles that you'll be solving will require picking up ingredients for and creating spells. Hand of Fate is arguably the best out of entire trilogy and an excellent adventure in its own right. Under a Killing Moon is my most favorite game in the Tex Murphy series and coincidentally also my most favorite FMV title too. It is set in December 2042 when the world is still recovering from the events of the World War III. You're Tex Murphy, an old San Francisco PI who's a whiskey and guns connoisseur and also struggling to make ends meet, which is a troubling combo I must add. That is, until Countess Rainier hires you to find her missing statuette. A seemingly simple case and easy money turning into more dangerous and complex investigation which will see you face a very powerful evil cult. Definitely not something you've signed up for, even if by then it's too late to back out.
No matter how bad things got.
Yes.
Blade Runner movie, based on Philip K. Dick's Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep book, was fantastic, arguably the best role by Harrison Ford too. And I know that you may disagree with that statement, but I don't care. For me, it was more iconic than Indiana Jones or Han Solo. Still, it's the game, not the film that we're tackling here today, and I'm happy to report that it's great too. You're Ray McCoy and you're a Blade Runner, so you hunt down replicant rebels, androids that run away from their captivity and slavery to lead normal lives. Interestingly enough, the game is focusing more on investigation and clue gathering rather than the puzzle solving, and features meaningful choices which not only influence its run, but also lead to one of 6 different endings. Until last year when Indiana Jones and the Great Circle released, I would have sworn that Fate of the Atlantis was the last good adventure game in the indie series and what the 4th movie should have been. And now I'm torn, because they're both really good. What I am not torn about though is that the Fate of Atlantis is the best indie point-and-clicker, and I'm sure that you'd agree. Indy and his friend Sophia Hapgood go on a globe-trotting adventure seeking clues regarding location of the mythical lost continent of Atlantis, all to get there before the World War II Germans do. Monkey Island 2 LeChuck's Revenge is the second part of the Monkey Island series and as good of the game as the first was. This time, however, Guybrush is already a pirate and not just a naive wannabe. He's perhaps one that other pirates laugh at, but a pirate nonetheless. And he's after the biggest treasure of all big treasures, the mythical, the amazing, the unthinkable and the long-lost Big Whoop. As per usual, just as the things are about to get good, something bad happens and stops Guybrush in his tracks, and it's naturally evil ghost pirate LeChuck. Bruno the Bigfoot is missing from the circus, and all signs point to him being the kidnapper of Trixie, the giraffe-neck girl. Now this cannot stand. I mean, in what world would you expect to go to a circus that had no giraffe-neck girl? It's like going to Starbucks and not expecting half of the seats to be taken by wannabe writers and conspiracy bloggers. Well, come to think of it, today, in 2025, I wouldn't go to circus even if it had aliens in it. It's too much of a bother. But in 1993, I see that. There is still the place to be. Especially if you had kids or were really, really drunk. So, our duo of anthropomorphic dog and rabbit Sam and Max are the PAs to solve the mystery and save the day.
So now...
Guybrush. Sometimes I wonder if all, and not only some of the bad things that happen to him, are his own doing. Oh well, I suppose we'll never know. After having defeated LeChuck once again and saving his beloved Elaine from his slimy clutches, Guybrush steals a gold ring from the mad ghost pirate and proposes to his red-haired sexy jinx of a governor on a picturesque beach. As soon as he slides the ring on her finger though, she instantly turns into a golden statue and Guybrush is left wondering what, how, why and when. Yep, no deeper thoughts go through his head other than knowing that he effed up. From this point onward, Guybrush must find a way to lift the curse and also rescue Elaine once more, as abandoned gold statues on pirate-ridden islands rarely tend to stay in one spot for too long. It seems that we're not done guessing today what the Shottenjaggers are. Last time we guessed it was either a toilet cleaner or a shadow hunter, but now, when I think about it, it sounds a little like a forbidden literature peddler too. And since in Sins of the Fathers Gabriel Knight is still just a bookstore owner and a wannabe writer, it kinda fits the bill too. In the game though, Gabriel's shadowing his detective friend, investigating a rather blood-chilling murder in New Orleans to gather materials for his book. The deeper they will get into the mystery, the darker and more nefarious truth will resurface. It's a crime I say. Explain this to me, cause I'm lost in how this could have ever happened. How did Secret of the Monkey Island not land in the first spot? How? I mean, sure, the entire list is based on your votes on the Moby Games website, but come on. It's like easily the best out of all 1990s point-and-clickers. But whatever, you've placed it third, let's talk about it. A lovable goof Guybrush Threepwood has one dream and one dream alone. And it's not to win the lottery, to become famous windshield wipers advertising influencer, or a very tip of a pyramid scheme. Nope, he wants to be a pirate. As it turns out, it's quite simple, and all he has to do is complete 3 beyond ridiculous trials. And he actually does that and more. He falls in love with beautiful Governor Elaine Marley, he defeats ghost pirate LeChuck and even gets his own ship. Not necessarily in that order. April Ryan, an 18-year-old art student, accidentally discovers that she's not just a TikTok-loving hard-partying girl, but also the only being in existence capable of moving between 2 parallel realities of her world. Arcadia, where the magic reigns, and Stark, where April was raised, and one where technology rules. And since there's no one else, she's also the only one capable of restoring the balance between them before they are irreversibly destroyed. Can things even be destroyed in any other way? I don't know. You tell me. I love Maniac Mansion Day of the Tentacle. It's a fantastic time heist slashback to the future kind of an adventure, but it's not better than The Secret of the Monkey Island. Well, at least in my eyes. In yours, it sure is, so we treat it as such. Purple Tentacle accidentally drank some contaminated water coming out of a random rusty pipe sticking out of Dr. Fred's mansion, then mutated, growing 2 primitive arms, and instantly set itself on a mission of conquering of the world. And since Tentacle with arms is like at least 7.5 times more dangerous than one without, it will definitely succeed. So to prevent the catastrophe, Dr. Fred sent our 3 heroes, Bernard, Hoagie and Laverne, back in time one day, to prevent the spillage and the chain of terrible events that's bound to follow. Unfortunately, they land in 3 entirely different periods of time, so not only they will have to stop the Tentacle, but also find their way back to their original timeline. Bada beep, bada boom, and we've somehow covered all 80 best point-and-clickers of the 90s on PC. What do you think of them? Were you surprised with placements of some of the titles? Or was your fave game missing? Let me know in the comments below. And when you're down there already, hit everything you can click or see. So the likes, subs, shares and even that bell too, for YouTube to let you know when I release something new. So, thanks a lot for watching and I'll see you next time.
I'm thirsty.
I don't think you should drink that. It looks bad for you.
Nonsense. It makes me feel great. Smarter. More aggressive. I feel like I could. Like I could. Like I could. Take on the world.
Look, Hoagie, it's a hamster. Just what I need for dissection lab tomorrow.
I think I need that for the band, Laverne. You know, like we could bite its head off or whatever.
Hands off that hamster.
Friend of yours, Bernard?
He belongs to Weird Ed Edison, and it looks like he's brought us a note. It's from my old friend, Green Tentacle. He says that Purple Tentacle's mutated into an insane genius, and Dr. Fred's going to kill them both. I thought I was free of Dr. Fred and those crazy Edisons forever. But now, I know that I must go back to the mansion.